We're Incendio, and we play Latin guitar world fusion. Since we started in 2000, we've played over 500 shows in the Western U.S., hit the Billboard charts, been played on the radio, and built a loyal following based on our original music. We play hard with as much passion as we can. Now, with the international release of our 4th CD, Incendio, for our new label, New World Music, we hope you have the chance to enjoy our music firsthand. This short presentation will be in 2 parts. First, band history and interviews, followed by live concert footage. They will all give you an idea of where we've been, where we're at, and where we're going.
My name is Jim Stubblefield, and I play guitar with Incendio.
My name is Lisa Carbe, and I play bass and sometimes guitar.
My name is Joe Shotwell, and I am the drummer percussionist of Incendio.
My name is JP Durand, and I am one of the guitarists in Incendio.
I started doing this kind of music in '93 when I started working with a musician from Kuwait. I did an album called November. I wrote the song Rhythm of the Heart in '92, actually. It was redone later on Intimo. And in between that time, I had a bass player that had left and gone to graduate school. Lucky enough to meet Lisa, who came into the band in '98. Her husband started lurking around at gigs. We eventually invited him on stage. It turned out he was a great guitar player. The band ended up becoming literally, I was the only original member. We'd written so much material for my solo album, which they ended up producing, that we called it Incendio.
JP and I had been doing a lot of music for television, and I just hadn't been playing out a lot. There hadn't been anything that had really excited me. And I met Jim, and I was asked to play in his band, and I was just doing it sort of for fun. And I heard his CD, Rhythm of the Heart, and I said to JP, we should really produce this guy's next CD. I know we can do a great job on it, because we'd been doing actually a lot of Latin CDs. So Jim came over, and one thing led to another. We started working with him, producing his CDs, producing the next CD, which became Mysterioso. So he came over and we started working with him, and it became obvious that it was more than just a producer-artist relationship. We started writing with him, and JP and I had written a lot together, and that's, when you can find somebody that you can write with, it's an unusual connection. JP and I were used to writing together, but we found that it was really easy to write with Jim as well. He would bring something over, we'd write on that, he'd write on something that we had an idea for, and it became obvious that there was a really nice connection there. We'd also been working with a drummer named Joe Shotwell, who's in the group now, and we knew that he would do a bang-up job on the next CD. So
their first show was in Tahunga, and it was an outdoor event, a market kind of setting. It was really amazing how that musical suit fit. Of course, I had a rapport already established with JP and Lisa, but that first gig was quite extraordinary in terms of just how everything felt, very comfortable, great show.
So we did our first show up at a little street fair in Tahunga, which was, you know, a nice atmosphere, very kind of cash. And thus Incendio was born. The 4 of us gelled, and Jim just looked back at Joe and went, oh, he's just great, perfect drummer. And that was the beginning.
I think we knew we had something pretty special early on. I mean, all the way through Mysterioso and then Illumination and the shows we played for that. We continued to get tighter as a group, and then doing the Live in the Studio CD with Intimo. It's just been, you know, steps and steps to try to get in front of more people and play live. But I think one of the key things, the key times that we knew something special was happening was when we played the Carbondale Mountain Fair in Colorado. It was the furthest we'd been from home, and we were surrounded by jam bands. And the audience loved it, and we had a wonderful time playing. And subsequent other shows, the Strawberry Folk Festival, or when we opened for Oscar de Leon, and it was a really hardcore salsa audience. through all of those experiences, we've learned so much and communicated with so many different audiences and people on an individual level reacting to what we're doing. It's been really, really gratifying. So I think we're all aware of how special it is, the thing that the four of us have together.
I felt one of our best shows in which I think we really made a great connection was when we played the California World Festival up in Grass Valley. We had to play on several different stages within the same day, and no matter how many shows we played, it seemed every show went off great, and the audience, although slightly different from stage to stage, they were reacting to what we were doing, and we were playing different songs every time. So it was really fantastic.
We're really fortunate to be able to play with Nicole Falzoni, who's a tremendous percussionist and great drummer as well. She's done a little bit on all of the CDs, and occasionally we also get to play with Matthew Huffschmidt, who's another wonderful percussionist. So we bring in people from time to time as we're able to expand into a 5-6-piece group. Sometimes we have Novi Novak on viola, and that's really a kick.
I think one of the best memories of making this last CD is that we really had to come up with material really quickly, and we really didn't spend too much time hemming and hawing about all the parts or who we were going to hire. We had a really clear vision of what we wanted to do, and it went actually very smoothly. So I think that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about making the CD is how smoothly we did it.
I felt like right out of the starting gate, we all really wanted this new CD to slam, to have some of the live power that our Intimo CD had, but to make the compositions a little more diverse and a little more complicated, but keep a lot of the fire. There were some really killer performances, really passionate performances, and we worked really hard to capture that, placing the mics in the mic place and just being in the moment and doing it. And I feel like we captured that.
The making of this last CD was actually a bit more pleasurable for me. I had more time to develop parts. I actually felt like I was part of the process in terms of interjecting thoughts in terms of mixes, how things perhaps might morph into something else. The album also has the introduction of Lisa, who's quite an extraordinary vocalist, and she actually debuts her vocal prowess on one of the songs, Awakening.
I think, at least I could speak for Lisa and I, on our writing process, we very much respect the spark, which can be, to create a song, which can be really 30 seconds of inspiration put on tape, and from there we rely on our skills to build the song. And then after that, if we happen to be booking or happen to be doing a lot of other busy things, we have that initial spark on tape, and we go back and visit it as we can and build upon that. So I think it's just from having done it for so many years, we have a lot of confidence that we can complete a musical idea, and I think Jim works much the same way.
Our most recent CD, Incendio, we brought together a lot of different ethnic styles, different rhythms and melodies from Celtic to salsa, and it came together very quickly, and we're very proud of what we did.
We all really value this band and value where it's been able to go, and we think it can really go places. So we work really hard between us personally to talk things out, to have a lot of open communication, and I think that's going to be one of the keys for our future.
I would say I admire Lisa's tenacity, the fact that she really won't take no for an answer. I admire JP in the fact that he's definitely someone that knows what he wants, and the fact that he's married to Lisa, they're like sort of an unstoppable machine. And Joe is I see Joe as a very centered individual who can often be a calming influence sometimes. So I think everybody has their own things they bring.
Jim is driven as a guitar player. He has a laser focus, in terms of his technique is immaculate. He plays really, really beautiful stuff, very, very cleanly, and it's totally challenges me to be at my best all the time and challenges the other members of the band to be at their best all the time. And that's a really, really important aspect of what we do.
You know, being a female in a group of men that are playing this group is great. I'm not affected by it really one way or the other. I've certainly been the only woman in other groups where I didn't enjoy it nearly at all.
I mean, we will appeal to somebody in their 50s and 60s who really appreciate the genre. We'll appeal to teenagers that dig the whole, fast and furious guitar playing, and everybody in between. It seems to just be really great in terms of the broad appeal that we bring to the table, with this particular music.
I think in terms of Jim and I playing together, I think we both just really go for it, and we both have different individual voices. He has a different set of influences than I do, and I would like to think that we have influenced each other. I've certainly learned a lot from him, and I would hope the same has gone the other way. And when we go play, it's a mixture of being mutually supportive and wanting to kick each other's butt. And I think that the audience really responds to that. They really get into that.
People are starting to realize that, especially with what's happened with CDs and file sharing, for musicians to be able to make money, they need to be able to play live and they need to be able to play their instruments. And I think that's one thing Incendio can be counted on to do.
The band really, there's so many different places that we're trying to take this group. On a musical level, I think we're always striving to not repeat ourselves. We're always, as a group, we're always listening to new music. So we're always trying to come up with something unique that, as well as inspiring the audience, inspires us. On a professional level, we're trying to get our music to as many people as we can.
I think with the state of the record industry now, I think one of the things that is great about what Incendio is doing is that we're doing everything. We're playing everything from wineries to jam festivals. We don't really say that that's our audience or that's our audience. We tend to, go all around.
I happen to think our individual voice has a tremendous amount of energy, has a tremendous amount of ferocity to it, both in the live show and the CD, and that is what we've made our name with, and kind of our responsibility to take that from venue to venue and really knock people out. There's definitely that kind of thing in our playing. I think that's what helps distinguish us.
you very much, everybody. We'll be right back for another set very shortly. We're Incendio. A ver, vamos a bailar.